Our fathers was much easier for them to become men because it was easy. The definition of manhood was what we call the 3 Ps: procreate, provide, and protect. It was very easy to be a man traditionally. But right now, a lot of women don't need you to have kids. A lot of women now don't need you to protect them. We have police. A lot of women now don't need you to provide for them. They're educated, they have their own jobs. Now, if you're married to a woman that is educated, the house you live in is hers, the car you drive is hers, the food that you eat is hers, the fridge is hers, and the 2 kids in the house, she came with them. What is your role? So what are you? So when she says, be a man, what does that mean? Because if we cannot answer those questions now, you're going to find yourself in trouble. It's a matter of time before you find yourself in trouble, because most black men we seen as being violent. But if you have a woman that is self-sufficient, she's more educated than you are. The house you live in is hers. The food and the fridge you eat is hers. The kids in the house don't even call you daddy, they call you by your name. And she asks you to be a man. How do you become a man to a woman like that? Makes a lot of sense. We have to redefine what our role is, because the traditional role that we used to occupy is dead. Chances are the women you go out with right now are not your mother, and their expectations are totally different. Now, if you're not equipped for the current woman and she asks you to be a man, the only way for you to show her you are a man is domestic violence. That's why most men are beating women, because you're so frustrated and she's pushing you. So the only thing that you can do that she can't do is you're physically strong. And one thing that most of us forget, any woman, she has a big brother called the government. You only know how big a brother the government is when you push her. The minute you become violent, the big brother, that's it. Now, we need to change. We need to redefine manhood, and we need to change. Now, we cannot change until we understand the times we're living in. Times are different. During our father's time, I come from a place where my father has a lot of wives and he's got a lot of kids. Why did my father have a lot of kids? Because wealth was defined purely by the number of hands the home has. Wealth was defined with the number of cattle you have and how big your farm is and how many boys you have to work the farm. So during that era, education was not important for my dad. The more boys I have, and his job was the 3 Ps. His job was to procreate as much as he can. The land will provide for us, and our numbers will provide security. Right? Now, that was a different era. That was a totally different era, where your physical strength was your passage to wealth. Then things started changing. We invented machines. People were digging and plowing, physically doing agriculture, which means there was a lot of physical labor, but the production was low. But then when they invented machines, then it meant machines can do more and produce that much without the cost of what? The cost of men. And at that point, our role as men started to doing what? Shrinking. But if our role was shrinking and the need for us in society was getting smaller and we did not adjust, and we're still stuck in the same mindset, then it means we're in trouble. That came into machine age. Now, the problem with the agricultural age was, if you don't come from a place or a family that has land, then for the rest of your life, you're poor. Because if you work the land, it means you're a peasant. And the only way the landowner can pay you is what? Food. You work the whole day and they give you a small little place where you work and they give you food, you survive. Then when the machine age came in, there was a big shift. Now, no longer the landowner was the richest person. Whoever invented the machines now controlled power.